Okay. Dude, do not take any of that shit. Bad. How did I get to the drug portion of fucking YouTube, dude? Why am I even here? Like, bro, what the fuck? The algorithm has blessed me with a new Goblin video. Oh boy. Actually, this is the second one, dude. Okay, we need to get ready to go to the mountain biome. How are we even gonna do this? I need a shitload of night vision potions. Hold up. Three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Yeah, Bezos are not good for you, dude. Like, I don't have any experience, but I know some peeps that did not have a fun time with it. At least not once they stopped taking it anyways. Um, we need to get all of our shit ready for the mountain biome.
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your boy Goblin, and today we're back in Struggle Studios making another banger. It's the Smoke Shop Sheriff, and I've walked out of the Smoke Shop with what is, in my opinion, the worst thing I could possibly get my hands on. Now, hope you guys enjoy this one. Drop a like. First and foremost, there's two things I want to say. A, if you didn't see last week's video talking about the opioid, please go watch that before you see this. It's going to give a lot of background info. And B, if you're just here because you're mad at me, you know exactly what group I'm talking to. All I'm going to say is wait until the end of the video before you leave a comment, because I think your perspective on this whole situation is about to change very quickly. I've received some inside information from someone who has described themselves as one of the founding fathers of the 7-0 industry, and in the message that I'm about to share with you guys, he incriminated himself and the entire industry very, very heavily, in a message that I think his lawyer would probably put a hit on him for. So, I'm not really going to waste too much time, but before I show you guys that message, I need to get a little info out about what is 7-0 and what am I talking about here. For those guys who don't want to go watch last week's video, 7-0 is the newest smoke shop craze, and it's not like the other ones, because this is a very, very addictive opioid. And the companies that are selling these products to you, and the smoke shops that are selling to you, are not properly warning you about what this product is really confusing, which is why I'm here today trying to do exactly that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Drop a like here. And if you were ever considering going out and trying this product,
Don't.
7-0,
No.
I highly suggest you stay to the end of this video before you make that decision. Now, briefly, what exactly is 7-0? Well, 7-0 is short for 7-hydroxymitragine, and it's a kratom alkaloid. However, it's very important to stress this is not the same thing as kratom. 7-0 products are absolutely not kratom. Yes, this is an active ingredient found in kratom. However, that does not mean that this is the same thing as going and buying kratom powder, or even going and buying a kratom extract shot. They are still different than this. I will show you why later in the video, but it's very important to stress that, because kratom users, I get where you're coming from. I understand that kratom itself has very many benefits for opiate addicts who are trying to wean themselves off, okay? This, in my opinion, is the opposite. I've seen a lot of comments saying, well, Goblin, 7-0 is amazing for opiate addicts who are trying to recover and wean themselves off. The problem is, whereas kratom is a legitimate step down from opiate, in my opinion, this is just replacing one addiction with another. This is like showing up at your homie's house and saying, yo, bro, I quit oxy, I do perks now. Congratulations, you're sure as hell not sober, though, and you're definitely not getting sober anytime soon. Now, let me show you one of the absolute worst messages I think I could have possibly received. Let's go over to my desk. Now, last week, after I made my video, pretty much within hours after the release, I got hit up by a good friend of mine who said that connection in 7-0 industry, particularly a connection at one of the leading brands in the States. And
What?
he told me that this person who's wanted to talk to me kind of off the record. He had some, I guess the best way to put it is beans that he spilled.
Oh.
Right? And initially, I was open to him talking to me off the record. I was, looking forward to getting some more information about 7-0. However, he proceeded to send me a text message that I'm just going to be upfront was way too egregious for me to go any further. There was no conversation after I read his text. You're about to understand what I mean. Let's just go ahead and pull it up. Now, the following day I received a text. And basically, I didn't have this number saved under a text. I wrote just to protect the actual person. So, in this message, this anonymous individual said, I want to know what you about 7-0 is. I just want to help holding in emotion. I know more about it than 99% of people. There's things that happen on each day, but I don't want to have to walk my conversation and complicate things further. Whereas you want to be really good with my perspective, someone who's trying, someone who's actually addicted to 7, and someone who's helped build this monster. One thing is, in the early days, I tried contacting you through your email because I wanted to send you some samples to get your opinion on what we were doing. Let me know if you have any ideas on how to truly open dialogue. We don't have to watch my words, worry about our fighting the whole issue. Now, you guys can probably see my response there. I was not very happy. I'm not really complicated. It's not all in a recording. I'm not going to sit down in the video and give you guys what you say. Every single fact that I sent in this video, every statement that I claim someone else to say in this content, I'm going to have proof. I'm not going to give you the opportunity to say Goblin makes stuff. No, I'm going to show you business email and I did some digging. I typed in all the key terms that I could think of, and I typed in 7.0, and I scrolled, and I didn't recall ever sending an email about 7. Because this bad boy was in spam. I had to pick it up, okay? And in this email, you can see right here. You know what? Let me just move myself a little bit down. This is from the company 7.0. They sent this from their official email address. They said, "Hey, Goblin, first off, I just want to say we love your YouTube. You're a new company, great and these are flagship products. It's an isolated from potent alpha 7 hydroxy. Based on your reviews, we think you'll really love our product. We'd like to send you some free samples to try. If you're interested, shoot me a reply to your address and get a package with some samples and mail out AS." Now, I'm just going to go. When I saw this, I got very mad. One, they had the nerve to send an email to someone who was very publicly covering drug addicts and offered me a drug that they both know is very addictive to activate my opioid receptor, and then chose to not warn me about it whatsoever. Just like, "Hey, man, try it, Sam. We love you. You try it. We really hope you like it." Knowing damn well that there's a very good chance that I'd probably be hooked out of my mind and shit. So, once I found this email, I got a lot more in. I decided I'm going to do more research on it. First and foremost, what's the deal with this industry and what's the deal with the warning labels on the package? Because, as you guys just saw, we just had a founding member of one of the leading brands in the space claim that they themselves are addicted to this substance. So surely they can have a warning about this particular thing, right? Well, let's take a look at this article I found on the Tampa Bay Times. Now, this article was published in December of 2000, right around when this email was sent. And this article brought to the very first thing they talked about is 7. Exact people that out. Now, specifically, there's 2 things in this article that I think are really, really important. First and foremost, the front and back of the packaging. I actually went to one smoke shop today and I bought that other box you guys saw me getting in the video because I wanted to show you guys the package. I was not able to find this, but I also wanted to look around and see what was my money. I was willing to go to one shop only. You only have to go to one nearby shop because every shop under the sun is selling 7.0 right now. Because it's a ton of money because it's horrifyingly addictive. Now, let's take a closer look at their package here. Okay, let's actually zoom in a little bit. Now, take a look on the front and the back. It's a little blurry, but don't worry about it. I'll read it. On the front here, it says the ingredients and the milligrams per tablet, other ingredients. Well, on the back side here, it says not for sale to minors, keep out of weak children. The product is naturally very from great. The direction, okay? Consult with a healthcare provider to determine if this product is right. If so, how to use it. May cause discomfort. Always start with a low dose. You notice something missing? I have sort of a addiction warning. Let's read a little further. Disclaimer. Surely here it is, right? By using this product, you assume full responsibility for any adverse events and or health complications that may result from it. Manufacturer or reseller assumes no responsibility for the use of this product. This product has not been evaluated by the FDA. For full disclaimer warning, visit our website. And then disclaimer. I don't even think I saw the word addiction on the package on either side of it. That one of the founding members of the company is reaching out to me telling me that he is addicted to it right now and describes it as a monster. It's a monster because the companies in this space are willingly allowing it to be that way. Obviously, you can make a valid argument for the potential for this for OPS. You can make the argument that maybe it should be dispensed out of clinics, similar way of methadone or Suboxone. But right now, this is dispensed out of smoke shops, and people have no idea what they're talking about. And my vendors don't give a shit what they're telling me. Now, I'm not done yet, gentlemen. Now, heading back over to the article, we have, right, for this product, what happened, researchers considered green levels of 7 came with 3 tablets. The suggested serving was half a tablet. The pills were so strong that Avish Sharma, the University of Florida scientist, like sold more. Said he believed they shouldn't be sold. To create the potent product, Sharma suspected the company used a chemical reaction to convert by tragedy 7-hydroxy, which is true. That is an accurate assumption. However, I think the most important part of this, there's 2 parts. The package of the product is essentially printed out test results for nitrazine, 7-hydroxy, heavy metals, and bacteria. A section of the report showing who ordered the results is blacked out. So they're modifying test results, which is not a good start. On top of that, I think the bottom line here is very telling because I got the extra month. I told them that it's reported line. It says here a representative hung up on a reporter when reached by phone. The company did not respond to multiple years sent by text. These people like were stories, okay? They like to play, feign ignorance, okay? There's something in sports called plausible deniability, okay? And what that is even if you've broken a law or done a no-no, if you go to court that you plausibly are not aware that you're doing this and you were acting in your best faith, there's a chance you can get away with it. Now, the text message that this individual has evaporated all the plausible deniability that this company has to say that their product is not getting I'm going to imagine they're going to be in some fucking shit pretty soon. But I want to stress and really clarify that this is not just about this one brand. Every brand in the space is a bad actor at this point. And honest to God, after showing y'all what I want to show you, after reviewing it, I think this company might actually be one of the better actors. As terrifying as that might actually be. Let me show you why. Now, before I actually show you guys some of the even worse actors, we're going to take a look at a video that was submitted to a Reddit viewer. By the way, I should say, I really appreciate all of you guys sending me all this information there for this video, okay? This is from a website that is seeming to bring some awareness about 7-L. And this is an excerpt from an interview with Dr. Christopher Curtin, who's a professor of medical chemistry at the University of Florida. And is one of the world's foremost experts on kratom, according to the website. Now, let's listen to this video because there's a couple really important things I heard here.
And one of the most repeated doctrines in kratom that hydroxychloroquine is set by weight is flooding the market.
We've learned that mitragynine has unique pharmacology. It doesn't activate opioid receptors fully. Its metabolite, 7-hydroxy, does.
That's an important distinction, right? Because the micrazine that he's talking about, I know I'm mispronouncing it. I just heard him say it right. Okay, but whatever. Take the video. The micrazine that he's referring to is primarily what you're finding in kratom leaf. Okay, it is not the same thing as the 7-O product. You're not getting high on the micrazine in the 7-O. Okay, so that's an important distinction. It says that 7-O activates the opioid receptor, the way that micrazine does not. Okay, let's keep
Chemically, mitragynine is the most abundant alkaloid in kratom. 7-hydroxymitragynine, while sharing a similar structure, has crucial differences. 7-OH features an additional oxygen atom binded to a hydrogen atom at the 7th position of the molecule, which has a profound impact on its pharmacological profile.
So I think an important thing here, for you stoners out there watching, a good way for you guys to 7-O's need to kratom, but Delta 8 is. And what I mean by that is Delta 8 is found in trace amounts naturally. The same way that 7-O is found in trace amounts naturally in kratom plants. However, products are created by synthesizing, creating a synthetic chemical reaction to create more of that chemical that you can naturally harvest in a realistic manner. So Delta 8 cards, for example, they're not like produced all naturally. Delta 8 is synthesized. Same thing is occurring with 7-O products. Okay? That's, at least in my brain, an easy comparison thing. Okay? Alright, let's keep it rolling.
It enhances 7-hydroxymitragynine binding affinity to opioid receptors in the brain, making it significantly more potent and addictive than mitragynine alone.
We've called it illegal morphine because it is actually only interacting with opioid receptors and it's activating them very strongly. We've got rats addicted to morphine and we simply took away their morphine and replaced it with mitragynine. They actually didn't have any interest in administering mitragynine to themselves. However, we did the same thing with 7-hydroxy and it absolutely substituted for morphine.
So that is one of the most important points of this entire from a scientist who is calling this quote-unquote lethal morphine. Okay? We got a qualified son of a bitch thing now. Now, we're coming up to what is probably my favorite part of this entire video, where it's time for me to show you just how egregious and terrible and predatory all of the brands in I'm going to show you how some of the most popular 7.0 products market themselves. Keep in mind that the most common and a quick response to this that I see from a lot of these companies is, oh, well, what about the ocean addicts clean themselves off and recover? I want you to ask yourself as you're watching these products that I'm about to show you, why are none of the companies marketing these products that way? Why are none of these brands advertising that they have a brand? There is not one brand on the market I can find on the internet that is out there marketing themselves as a fully recovery-oriented brand. They're very clearly targeting a specific type of consumer, pardon me, and I'm going to let you guys decide what type of consumer that is. Now we're going to start pretty light here, okay guys? We're going to start pretty tame, okay? How would you guys like to try some Zozo Perks? Perks. Little weird. Perks. You guys ever heard of Perks before? I don't know. Well, that's not that bad. I mean, it just says Perks on packaging, right? This remind you guys of any? Is this the 7-hydroxy watermelon slush? Does that label remind you guys? And it actually says here on the label, I don't know if you zoom in any further, sippers only. It says sippers only. On the label. Now, that's not the only brand that's using that method of marketing. Okay, we also have the straight tea, Dippin' syrup. Ladies and gentlemen, remember these are recovery products. Okay, totally just to help people recover. They're totally not targeting young people walking to the shop that want to get high. Okay, now honestly, if this is what it's showing you right now is a roller coaster, we just reached the top of it. The drop is up, and it's a 9-degree drop. Okay, here are some of my personal favorite brands on the internet. How about Rock? These guys don't give a fuck. They didn't even try to, they're like, fuck it, dude. What about Rock? Just call it Rock, dude. That looks good. We have please let me show you what their branding previously was before they changed it. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you once again, what type of consumer are all of these brands targeting? All of them. I am sure after you're done with this video, go look up the other brands I didn't show you in this video. You're going to realize pretty quickly that you can leave out other brands that look good to make a point. I left out the less hilariously comic awful brands, okay? There is so much out there that is just predatory, targeted to the absolute most vulnerable consumers, okay? Now, the next one I'm about to show you is the one that I'm probably the most curious, because the rest of these products are straight up into their marketing. They're not trying to hide. This one, however, is very, very nice. This is an official song product on their official website. This is not sold to a third-party distributor. And you know what the worst part about it? They were really clearly targeting very deceptive manner, and I think really targeting some people's marketing. However, since I highlighted that, posted it on my Twitter, they have deleted most of that section when you scroll down on this product page. Unfortunately for them, I have it all started. I'm about to show you. So let's just see what this product looks like, what it's still. Each song, Cosmic Blue.
What
Blue.
the fuck?
Feel your whole body say ah. Blue. The ultra potent 7.0 supplements are strong for it, but not enough relaxation ever felt. Okay? Now I want to really stress that it says nowhere on this product page. There is no warning about with the automation. Product page I scroll all the way down. Absolutely nothing here about it. Okay? None of that. Now, it's about getting cleaner. Let me they're better than their namesakes from 50 years back. Honestly, no way to tell now, but they're still pretty fun.
What the fuck?
This brand, Cheech and Chong themselves, are putting their name on a product that is trying to convince you the new version of Quaalude, directly saying on their product page, some are better than their namesake from 50 years back. I don't know how much egregious, blatant, and just terrible the marketing for these products can get before someone steps up and says, hey, maybe we can get rid of it, but hey. Because here's my problem, okay? This, out of all the products that are good, they probably target young people most of my time. This is Cheech and Chong's audience. Not old people, all people are alive and old enough to see their movie when it came out are probably fucking dead already. Okay? Their movie came out in like the 70s. Alright? I wasn't alive for 24 years when these guys' movie came out. Okay? And now motherfuckers are calling me on that puts it in perspective. Okay? Cheech and Chong are some of the most shameless driven that have absolutely no problem slapping their any accessory that makes them. And this is probably the crown. Okay? However, that's once again not what. It's more so about the fact that these fucking cocksuckers are willing to look you dead in the eye and say, wow, man, I think fucking 7-0 tablets are better than Quaalude. And say, we're not gonna warn you they're addictive, but order them now. Get Chong. Now, probably my favorite part of the entire thing is you go to the lab results section on their website, all the way at the very, very bottom. Allow me to show you, they hide their cosmic blues. Why do they hide their cosmic blues? Because they don't have any test results. The test results somehow, the product is still selling to right fucking now. So explain that to me, Chong. Here's the test results. How do you know what we're here? You're calling this Quaalude, and we don't even know what the fuck is in. Come on, guy. I know you're old in style and maybe straight, but I also am smart enough to know that you aren't the one making this website. So whatever cocksucker on your is, let's maybe fix it up a little bit. Then you guys might notice it, so I'm kind of pissed off. Truth be told, I'm very pissed off, okay? Because that kind of thing that my
Me too.
yourself and walk into a smoke shop and got booked on. This would have ruined my life. I have watched those people boy on. And the thought was uneducated themselves walking to a smoke shop and buying this product without being fully informed on what and getting addicted to it, developing an opiate addiction, and eventually having to graduate from the 7-0 products because, by the way, tolerance builds this stuff very, very and eventually you're probably totally it's time to graduate. You're really in some trouble if you've never done other opiates. Because let me ask this, after 7-0, what do you graduate? If this is supposed to be a miracle substance that people are beating themselves off with, no, kind of not. What are you supposed to do when you go the other direction? Now, the other concern I have is opiate addicts. This is different from the opiate addict. I've been here. I was every opiate addict was technically the best of luck. I hope it works for all of you. And I don't care how you find that sobriety, I genuinely hope it works out. But the other thing, my personal opinion, this is almost no better than Suboxone. Okay? This is for an opiate addict off, you are replacing one addiction with another, just like you would be if you run Suboxone or methadone, okay? The problem is, opiate addicts have multiple choices to quit, okay? You have that option. You have that option. You have that option. Evidence. I'm not saying any of them are good, okay? But you have choices. You know who doesn't have choices? Uneducated people walking into the smoke shop, developing a new opiate addiction off of the product. That's why I made this video for. Uneducated. If you watch enough of my videos, you probably know that that's fucking mean, okay? That's why all the people exist. Because I made all my so for what would have helped my younger self stay safe. And I'm telling you right now, my younger self was doing drugs alive in 2005, and when I was a decade ago, I would overdose and 100% I'd be 10 minutes. No doubt. If all this bullshit out there, I would have been fucked. And this plays a role in it. Now, a lot of you guys out there watching, you might be wondering what you can do to help fight this issue. First and foremost, if you're a smoke shop, which I know a ton of you out there watching are, you need to be informing all of your customers dangers of the product. If someone walks into the store and asks to buy a 7-0 product, they know what they're purchasing. If not, you should be informing them. If
$20 thrown in the toilet is better than a lifetime of shit.
This product is more ridiculous with it. If you're overdoing it in a way that normal potatoes doesn't, I think the worst part about this is there's a lot of innocent creative people out there that are going to get caught in the crossfire. There's a lot of former opiate addicts who are legitimate, medicating themselves with creative that are potentially going to get caught in the crossfire of this issue. And I have to I really think, I also have, like I said earlier, for the opioid addicts, the opiate addicts are trying to get themselves off of 7 But I think it's time to be real about it and make the fact doing that, you are replacing one addiction with another. And in my opinion, that's not recovery. That's not treatment, that's not sobriety, that's not recovery. Some may disagree, and that's your damn right, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stop liking it. Yourselves a great girl. Show that 7 and crack trail. I'll see y'all in the next one. What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Goblin. Today, we're coming in with a bang. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Drop a like, do, and also, if you guys haven't subscribed to my second channel yet, go drop a sub on it. We already got videos up. We've got another one coming. So make sure you subscribe to my second. Got highlights, open videos, all types of stuff on there. But either way,
Okay, let's go to the mountain bio.
video, drop a like, do, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And without further ado, let's dive right into the video. So, this took place in my junior year of high school, back during my fantasy stage. And those of you guys might I was quite in the fantasy stage during my junior year of high school. It was during my first semester, during the fall of that year, that I really got into it. And it was at the point where I was taking them every day and multiple times a day. At one point, I was popping probably 3 or 4 bars a day, but it was a fairly short-lived thing. It really only lasted seconds. But either way, because of that habit, I was outside. I had a girlfriend take her grandma's, and terrible as it was, and sell it to me in the library in school. So I would take bars and sell them. It didn't matter. And it was really nice because her grandma got a prescription. I'll tell you what, hey, that's really great. But these were not those bars. This is just kind of how I was making some money. The bars I had on this particular day were going to be different because that girl couldn't get me. But I still had a good bit of money on me for selling those bars, right? By a good bit of money, I mean like $120. Because back then, that's a lot of fucking money, man. Hey, little 16-year-old me, that's got me set for a week or two, bro. I can take that stretch. But, anyway, my buddy Jimmy hits me up with a particular day. And he asks if I have any bars. I tell him that I don't have the normal ones that I serve him. However, I did have a couple extra that if he needed some, I could hook him up. Jimmy's been a long-time friend of mine. Honestly, probably known this guy longer than almost anyone else. I've known this guy for almost 2 decades. And, I grew up with him, right? So, getting up and asking if I have any bars. Yes, I have a few of my first ones. Not one, but they're pretty good. Pretty good. My top is like bars. I got about 4. I've also got some weed. I started ripping over to Jimmy's house, and on my way there, I popped just one of them, right? I decided, we'll start out kind of like. So I get over to Jimmy's house, and I bring my bud, and I bring the bars, and it's nobody home. Jimmy has one of the best
Yeah.
to hang out. Like, it is so nice. His house is insane. He's got a super dope son. He had, a really cool finished basement. His house is dope. Whenever he invites me over, I'm fine. It's great. So, I get in there, no gas, nothing, then a little bit, and he does, so we're catching up a little bit, tells me 40 grand, so, of course, I got it, so I throw him, he throws me a little bit, I don't remember how much, $10, yeah, I don't know, it's cash away, and we get to chill. We're trying to figure out what to do, because, I mentioned, I'm like, we should take it for at the dining room table. Now, this was not his gaming setup. It was his dad's like work setup that he just used to play games because his computer was super outdated and I don't even work anymore at this point, right? If it did, he probably wouldn't have been using his dad's fucking PC. But that's beside the point. So, we're chilling in the dining room, and I feel like it's time to explain. No, actually, no, we'll do this part later, alright? So, we're chilling at the dining room table, and he's on the computer, and I'm sitting next to him rolling a blunt, playing some League of Legends, and I'm kind of chilling out and taking turns playing the game, you know? For those guys who haven't played it, each game, you know, if you play like an A-rank, it's 20 minutes long, so you can take it, you can switch out pretty quick, right? So, we're playing A-rank and just switching back and forth, you know? And we're chilling out. It's funny to be mindful. His computer, his dad's part, is directly under his dining room table. But I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. You guys know those dining room tables where they like fold out to themselves to like have a foot table? You know what I'm talking about? I've only ever seen a few. Like, I don't think they're so common anymore. But I remember like my parents used to have. Those like the ends of it, they fold in and like under the table in case you wanted like a shorter table. You know what I'm talking about? So this table had that, but the ends were folded out, right? And where we're sitting at on the table, the monitor is set up almost right over the crack in the table. And the computer is set up directly under the crack in the table. Some of you guys might be able to see where I'm going. Now when it's my turn to play, we're sitting there and I'm playing the game. Jimmy decides he's gonna take both of his bars then. So he both.
Oh no.
I'm like, okay, I mean, hey, go crazy, guy again. I'm like, go crazy. These were just some ladders, a little 2 milligrammers. Honestly, not. Well, probably not. I was young and dumb, but they were allegedly 2 milligrams, not 2 grams, pardon. But anyway, so we're chilling and keep the popping 2 bars. I'm doing pretty good off my one. I finished going one about 10 minutes prior. Once my game finished, we got up and we went to go smoke in the sunroom. We're standing in the sunroom and we're smoking up, and I'm feeling great. I'm feeling fantastic. This bar, whether it had house or fence in it, hit me like a truck, and I was feeling fantastic. I'll tell you what. I was chilling. We're sitting there talking a bit. We're just like, man, this is fucking great. These bars are really good. And I'm kind of telling him like how I'm feeling because he's asking, how are you? You know, like I just took 2 of them. How am I gonna be feeling? I'm describing how I feel to him. We smoked blunt. By the time we're done smoking it, I don't know what it did, but it definitely put that thing on crack. Put it on 10 because I was barred out of the I was feeling incredible. The synergy between whatever bud I smoked that day and the Zan was fantastic. It had to be because I was great. I was chilled out. So we go back inside, and I asked him if he wanted to play now. I'm like, yeah, you know, it's your turn to hop on. He's like, no, I mean, I'm probably good for now. If you want to play another one, you know, like I don't know, I might try to roll one or something. And Jimmy was pretty bad at rolling one. He wanted to give it a go. He wanted to practice. So, you know, I don't know if that's the best idea while you go put 2 bands, but I mean, be my guest. So I'm not gonna stop. So I pass him a little bit of weed in the remaining half that he had left, and I sit back down. Jimmy gets up and goes and grabs a Coke. I think it was a Coke. I don't know. It's a soda, right? We'll call it a Coke. It makes it easy. He goes and he grabs a Coke, and he cracks that bad boy open and gets back. Now, I'm playing the next game, and by this point, it's pretty obvious that the bars had just hit me, because he was going slow-mo. I'm looking over from time to time to look at the blunt, and I shit you not, it took this guy almost 10 minutes to gut it. He's sitting there gutting this thing with precision, like he's in Squid Game. I've never focused that hard on gutting a blunt in my life, dude. It looks like someone put a fucking block to the back of his head. And if you don't gut this exactly 180-degree angle straight line, I'm blowing your brains out. Holy shit, he was good. But he puts the drink down, and it's pretty close to where my hand is in the mouth, right? Sitting to the right of me, I've got my hand on the mouth. He puts his drink down pretty close to the I notice it, you know, and I kind of adjust my hand a little bit. If I go back to playing the game, I'm still on the I'm barred out, so I completely forget the game. And I don't
Oh, their trip's about to become really bad.
Who knows? So I wiped up all the soda down to turn the computer back. I pressed the button. I tried to turn it. And as you could guess, it did not turn on. Now, at this point, I'm pretty concerned because I'm like, yo, this is not my computer and I don't have the money to replace this. This is fucked, right? So I'm like frantically pressing the power button. And I get onto the cable and then I realize what really happened. I figured the power cord was loose because I moved the computer with my foot, but as I got on the cable, I realized the power cord was not. Instead, the back was moist. It was wet. It was then sticky. And I couldn't realize that the coat that spilled went through the gap on the table and ran down the back of the computer. What's on the back of the computer? The power supply. So I'm pretty dead certain that is what happened on the computer and why it wasn't turning on. I'm pretty sure I fried the power supply with Coca-Cola. But I'm starting to cheat, and Jimmy noticed that someone was doing like, yo, what happened? Dude, the computer's not turning on, bro. Like, I think it's fucked. I'm trying to press the button, I unplug it, plug it back in. Jimmy's like, nah, let me see, man, let me see. So he gets in it, doing the same thing, press the button, like, fuck, it's still on that? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm sitting there, and I feel really bad. Like, I'm like, I'm so sorry, bro. Like, this is my homie. I've known this guy forever. Like, we went to the same kindergarten, you know? I've known this dude forever. I feel terrible. I'm like, I'm so sorry, bro. I didn't do this. Like, my bad. Let's figure out how to fix it. So, like, let's try to fix it or something, right? So we're sitting there, we're barred out of our. I have no idea what. It's like 5 or 6 p.m. at this point, right? The sun's going. So we're sitting there trying to figure out. We're on YouTube, looking up like computer won't turn on or like power supply thing. And we realized pretty quickly after reading all the Google and YouTube that yeah, we're fucked. This thing's fried. Sure of us were like super good with computers. I know how to use computers just fine, but I didn't really know. I've never built. Still to this day, I've never built. I knew a lot less back then than I do now, right? Because I got swapped stuff out that day. But when I was young, I was dumb as hell. And everything I had was pretty cool. So I didn't know shit. So I'm sitting there going, oh, like, I don't think we can fix this. I'm freaking out. My dad's pissed. Like, he's after a
What the fuck?
I'm sitting there and I'm like, yo, I got $120. Like, what can you do to get some money?
Piss off.
In my pocket and maybe a gram and a half or two. How are we getting in? So we're sitting there discussing, and the idea comes up that we go steal one. We're like, yo, what if we just go fucking steal a piece? Like, how would that work out? So we actually were stupid enough to think that we could go. So we get in my car and we go drive up to Best Buy, and we're walking in and we're talking. Like, even on our way in, we're discussing this. Like, absolute fucking. I'm pretty sure the security guys could have heard us, but that's beyond the point. We're walking in and I'm like, dude, listen, we gotta fucking run. Dude. Like, you gotta take it to this. And normally I would never try to steal something this absurd, but I was desperate. This was one of my closest friends, and I just ruined his dad's work. Like, that's how they make money. We gotta replace this. Like, we gotta.
So you can't tame them on the night of the full moon, man.
And I'm like, dude, let's fucking steal this computer. We go over to the back side of all the. Our cords are tucked away. They've got all the laptops, all the desktops and stuff. An employee comes up and asks us what we're looking for. I tell him we're just browsing. When I'm kind of scoping out the store, and I realize pretty quickly that I'm A, stupid as hell and far out of my mind for thinking that Best Buy would ever have a desktop computer outside of a box. I'm an absolute idiot for thinking that would be possible. So we're standing there and we're just like, yo, this isn't gonna happen, bro. Like, we have to do some, like, GTA heist shit. Like, we have to come into masks and straps to get a PC out of that game. There's no way. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, dude, because I'm tweaking. Like, Jimmy, he's pissed, but he's also trying to be cool with me about it. Which I appreciate. Like, I was sitting there, like, oh, like, shit, what are we gonna do? You know? So I'm trying to figure this out, and I pull out my last lifeline. I bust out the phone and I call my and I explain the situation to her. Luckily, I wasn't too barred out. was much more like me. I said, listen, Jimmy's computer broke. I accidentally messed it up. It's like, can I borrow some money? I'll pay you back, I promise. And I'm pleading at this point. I'm freaking
What
out.
the
I have
fuck?
$120. Jimmy told me he had a little bit more. He had like $150 in his account. $270 is not getting shit. I'm gonna lay it out. Maybe a Chromebook. But
Piss off.
this was a whole ass piece. So my mom ended up saying yes a bit reluctantly after I basically begged her. I'm telling Bob, like, so listen, I'll fucking get sober, Mom. I swear to God, I'll never smoke weed again. I'll go to church. I'll do fucking anything. I'll block all my who have ever looked at weed. If any of my friends can spell weed, I'll block them. I promise. She took it. Took the bait. So he sends me some money, right? So I'm feeling a little more calm. Okay, got some money. I can figure out how to pay back my mom. You know, probably, I don't know, drug money or maybe fucking work. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But at this point, I'm feeling better. We've got enough money to get me better. Collectively, we had about, like, it was around $600. It was like a little under. So we're looking at the budget. But luckily, the computer that we broke was not very great. It was just your average, like, HP Pavilion type of work computer, you know? It was nothing special. So we're like, okay, well, let's just find one that looks pretty similar. And it's not hard to find a work computer that looks like another one because they all look identical. So I found one for, I think it was like, we had a really good deal actually. It was like $450. It was on sale, I remember that. And we picked it solely because it was on sale and it looked pretty similar to the old one. Same brand and everything. So we were like, bet, let's grab this. We buy this little computer, we pay for it, and we dip out of it. We get out of there. They drive on back to Jimmy's house, right? Once you get back to Jimmy's house, you unbox the computer. We set it up, we put it on the ground, we plug everything into it, the monitor, the keyboard, all that stuff, the mouse. We turn it on, and we realize really quickly we forgot a big crucial
The
fact.
monitor.
We forgot the fact that his dad's gonna know because the hard drive is one. So we're thinking to ourselves, like, yo, we already replaced the computer. Like, if we do this right, his dad won't even know. You know, like, we'll be good. His dad won't be mad. Good. We're all good. He's got a newer computer. Like that. It works, right? But we realized very quickly that we now have this task of disassembling and taking the hard, not disassembling, all you have to do is take the panel off, and taking the hard drive out. Normally, that's not a hard task, but when you're barred out, that becomes a lot more overwhelming. So we're sitting there, and we start unscrewing the little side bolts from this computer. And we pull up a YouTube video. We're both sitting on the floor under his fucking dining table, watching a YouTube video about how to, like, replace a hard drive in a PC. So I'm taking the panel off of the old broken one, while Jimmy's taking the panel off of the new one. And we realized that we gotta put this thing in quick, right? Because by the time we got back from Best Buy, it was like 7 or 7:30, right? His dad was not gonna be out for much longer. So, and he's aware, he's telling me, he's like, you gotta do this quick. Like, I think my dad's coming home kind of soon, right? And I'm freaking the fuck out. I can't have Jimmy's dad mad at me. I'm never gonna be allowed here again. So I'm watching the YouTube video, and I've got the side panel off. And I realize I took the wrong. So I flip it around, I take the other side panel, and now we're good to go. Luckily, the hard drive was right at the bottom. It was almost presented to me. You look down at the tower and bow. There it is. And at this point, I was a little less barred out. Because I guess panic had set in. A little bit of adrenaline, a little bit of, oh shit, kind of set in. I was like, okay, I gotta fix it. No, I'm not feeling too good today. So, I unscrewed the other hard drive. And we had to go find, luckily Jimmy had a tool closet that was fucking right next to her and shit. But I had to unscrew the hard drive, right? So I take this little screwdriver, this tiny little, and I unscrew it, right? I take it out. Jimmy's got the other hard drive with the other computer taken, right?
As long as the screws fit, you're probably fine.
Even though there's literally only 8 fucking screws on the ground, we're both too stupid to figure it out. We give up on the straight through scramble, and we decided to just scotch tape the thing down. That's exactly what we did. We went and grabbed some scotch tape, taped it down, and we plugged it back in, and we put the side panel back on that new computer, and voila, it was beautiful. It worked perfectly. Everything was great, and we saved the damn. After that, I was feeling pretty shitty. I was feeling bad. I took another Xan after that. And we rolled up another blunt, but we didn't have time to smoke it because you got a text that his dad was about to leave. Luckily, his dad asked if he wanted to pick up food for him, which was kind of our saving grace. Because we forgot the guy eating it. Right? But I rolled up that blunt, and once I left, you know, I took the blunt with me, and I faced it on my way home. I don't know what Jimmy ever did with the computer, but I don't think his dad actually ever figured it out.
Damn.
We got were near identical. Like, I'm pretty sure it was just a newer generation, like the same CPU. They were damn near identical. And maybe his dad figured it out, but he didn't care. I never heard about it. Like, I never heard back about it. So, Operation Success in my eyes. Dude, that shit was an ass. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop a like. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe to the second channel. Link in the description. I'll see you guys next. Peace out, gamers.
Did I tell him how long? Or did I just say it's going to be a while? Hey, man.
What? Like,
What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Goblin, and today we're coming in with a banger of a video. It's one that I'm really excited to see. In today's video, we're talking about my full criminal record. Now, before we dive into it, first off, we got a merch drop coming March 25th, this upcoming Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. We have the most fire designs yet. All designs were made by you guys. I hired only viewers for this merch drop, and it turned out so good. Also, YouTube just demonetized my entire channel again, so make sure you pull up to the merch drop. Hey, Code Goblin is still active for 20% off until Saturday at 4:20 p.m. Central. If you guys want to get that 20% discount, pull up, check out the site, grab some stuff, enter Code Goblin, and check out. Without further ado, let's dive right into the video. Now, there's a couple things I want to clarify about this video. First off, I'm not going to be including super minor stuff. Now, what I classify as minor stuff is things such as speeding tickets, or I got pulled over and had a small amount of weed on me. We're going to talk about the significant events in this video, because if I covered each and every one of my little traffic court incidents, we would be here for probably an hour and a half. So we're just going to cover the major moments where I got arrested, where I got charged with serious things, or got caught for otherwise doing serious things. We've got 5 separate arrests that we're going to talk about today, and then a little honorable mention that I didn't really think counted because we got this before. But we're going to start out with my first ever time getting into legal trouble. And this incident, you know, I actually did not get arrested for. You know, it's funny because I didn't even remember that this was the first thing I did for a long time. Because I recently, well, not super recently, but in the past year or so, got a Freedom of Information Act request fulfilled to get all of my old legal documents. That's why this video exists today. I'm going to even show you guys a couple little snippets from them, but I can't show much because there's a lot of personal info on these things. I mean, it shows my address, it shows my middle name, for Christ's sake. But either way, so this first incident happened when I was younger, and I went and stole some liquor from a grocery store near me. And we're not going to tell the full story of any of these incidents, but just a brief little summary. So I went to a grocery store, and I had stolen some liquor and thrown it in a backpack and left. Now, apparently the security at the store noticed me doing this on the cameras, and they took the video because I looked young. At the time, I was 16, and I was wearing my school outfit and my school backpack.
What?
I put the liquor in my bag and left. So I guess they sent this video of stealing to all the schools in the area, and someone at my school recognized it. School resource officer recognized it, aka the in-house Jake, right? He recognized it. So they pulled me into the office, and funny enough, when they pulled me in, I was wearing the exact same outfit as I was in So I folded pretty much immediately. Like, I just admitted it. I was like, yeah, that's me, you know? I mean, I'm not even, like, head to toe in the shoes, bro. Like, the exact same thing. So there was no getting out of that one. So I was like, yeah, you know what? I did it. I was pretty stupid. I was young. But I never got arrested for it. What ended up happening was I got trespassed from the store, so I couldn't come back. And I had to agree to pay for the liquor, which I did end up doing, which I think was pretty fire. Essentially, they just sold me liquor underage and told me don't come back. Fair trade. Now, my second arrest here happened the same year in 2006.
It's not gonna be as good.
Not my second arrest, but my second run-in with the police, I guess you could say. My second significant. This happened in 2015, and some of you OG viewers might remember this story. Back when me and my friends went and broke into some garages. Now, for a long time, I thought that this was the first incident that I had, but when I went and looked at the dates on the police reports, I realized that I had it mixed up, and this was actually the second time that I got in trouble. This time, I still kind of got out of it scot-free, but me and two other friends rode around in my car at night and went into open garages. We hit 3 different garages, and we took golf clubs, we took a leaf blower, a bunch of random stuff.
What the fuck?
Probably worth a decent amount of money. Now, what ended up happening here is I had gone home, you know, I brought the golf clubs back home. We'd all kind of distributed the loot, if you will. And a cop showed up at my house the next day. So I didn't answer the door or anything, but I called my friend and I was like, yo, man, the cops came, you know, like they came to my house. I didn't answer the door. They left pretty quickly. And he was kind of freaking out on the phone. Now, he told me that his mom overheard the conversation and took him to the police station. That's what he always told me. When I read the police report, I found out that he actually told, like, he got scared because the cops came and told his mom everything, and she then took him to the police station and got us all in trouble, right? So I essentially found out my friend did something. However, I wasn't really that mad about it. I mean, we're still friends, if I'm being real. Listen, I don't follow street code, dude, alright? I play World of Warcraft, man. Whatever. I just learned not to do crime with that guy again. That's what I learned. But, you know, on this particular incident, I got off pretty easy. I got off with what was called a station adjustment, right? Hey, that's suburban Caucasian privilege, baby. So I got off with what was called a station adjustment, which is basically you don't even go to court. You sign some paperwork saying like, hey, I'll do X hours of service, follow these terms, and, you know, then I'm good to go. And it never goes through the court system, so you're not convicted of anything. If you don't follow those terms, then they can, you know, bring it to court or something. I think it was like 15 hours of community service or something. It was really minor, and I went. So that was pretty easy. But the technical charges there were burglary and trespassing, right? Burglary and trespassing were the official things that I was charged with. Now, the next one we're going to talk about is a fun. This is probably the stupidest thing that I ever did when I was younger. This was the most ignorant, goofy. I should have never fallen for this one, okay? I was young and I was dumb, though. So it was my 17th birthday on this incident. And, you know, at this point, I had already gotten in trouble 2 times before. You know, I had also gotten pulled over with some weed prior to this. So I had a little bit of stuff, but I had never really been in serious trouble. On this day, I had lost a phone a couple days prior to my birthday. And I called the phone on my friend's phone a couple days later on my birthday. Someone ended up texting my number back that I called from, and we were messaging back and forth, and on my lock screen, I didn't have the message preview set to private, so anyone could just look at my phone and see what people were texting me. And people were hitting me up asking to buy weed. So whoever had it, I didn't realize at the time, it turned out to be a forest ranger who had it, was texting me, and they're like, oh, like, can you get me some weed? You know, and I was kind of sketched out. I was like, yeah, I don't know, man, like, maybe we can talk about it when I get the phone back, you know? I should have just said no, but I was pretty stupid. Then the guy asked, he was like, oh, like, can you get me some coke? And that's when I knew something was really up. And then I was like, no, okay, I can't do any of this. I straight up said to him, I was like, no, man, like, let me just get the phone, you know? So he told me, he's like, okay, well, you know, we can meet where I found it at, Forest Preserve. So I linked up with a couple of my friends who had a car, because my homie...
Dude, he's gonna get stung. There's no way.
We rode on over to the Forest Preserve, right? Thinking nothing of it. I get out of the car, right? I'm looking around, and I'm on my friend's phone, and I'm messaging my phone. I'm like, hey, you know, where are you at? Like, I'm here. All of a sudden, a cop pulls into the lot. Now, immediately, I knew something was up, even though I didn't do anything. Like, I didn't bring weed to sell this guy. We had weed on us, but I didn't bring, like, a out, and I'm standing there, and I already kind of knew that they were probably there for me because the text messages sketched me out so hard. I was already kind of tripping, you know. Thank God I wasn't stupid enough to actually try to like serve some weed here. You know, I did bring a scale. He had like not even an 8. He had like 2 grams among everyone I was with, right? But either way, this cop pulls in and they get out of their car and they start like asking me stupid ass questions like, oh, like we're here for a lost dog, and I immediately was tripping. I knew I was like, these guys are about to put my ass up, and man, I didn't even really do anything. That was tripping. And immediately they because I was still pretty close to my car that I had gotten out of, right? They fucking got our asses, right? Another cop pulled in and they lit us up and they searched the whole car. They just pulled us out. And I'm sitting there and I'm asking them, I'm like, what did we even do? You know, like you asked me if I could get you shit, and I was like, hell nah. I guess it was the messages on my phone. People hit me up for weed. This was back when weed was still completely illegal in Illinois, right? I was 17. What was 2016? I'm not even sure if we had the medical program. I think I might have started a year after that. I might be wrong though. But these cops, you know, they searched the car thinking I was some big drug dealer, you know, track star of the area. And all they found was my friend's alcohol in her purse and a little bit of weed and a bowl. So I got officially charged with possession of paraphernalia and possession of cannabis, which aren't very significant charges, right? It was just a minor sport thing. But I more so wanted to share this one because how ridiculous the story was, right? I mean, there was like 4 cop cars that pulled into the parking lot, all sworn to think that I was the plug, and I didn't have it like that, my boy. I was so he pulled up in my homie's car, right? That car wasn't paid for by my homie. That car was paid for by his mother or father. Now, next up on my criminal record here is a very significant. This was my first time getting arrested for a felony. I've never committed a violent crime before. I'm not really that kind of person, but this was, I guess you could say, a kind of different.
I've made the crack shake.
I've gone into a Walmart, and some of you guys might recall, I've made videos about this.
Oh,
I
no.
went into a Walmart, and I stole a bunch of video games. I took a plastic tote.
Yep, he's dead.
Opened it, filled it up with the games in the clearance bin, back when they used to have that in every Walmart ever. And I would just close the tote, scan the barcode on the outside, and leave. I got caught doing that on this fateful day, and because the amount that I had stolen was over, I think $300 was the limit at the time, I got screwed. So asset protection nailed me pretty quickly. I mean, they came up and grabbed me, and it was too huge. So one of them was a pretty big guy, and then the other one, if I remember correctly, was probably a lesbian woman, to say, like a very butch-looking woman, you know, real tough. Like she probably beat my ass, you know, that kind of woman. But either way, so I got popped immediately, and they took me to the security room, and the cops came, and my official charge. I didn't run or anything. I mean, I didn't even realize they were coming up behind me. They didn't yell or anything. They stealthed on my ass, bro. I didn't want to look over my shoulder as I was leaving. I never did when I was stealing, because that's sketchy, you know? You don't want to do that. You just want to act like you're just walking out, minding your business, you know? But yeah, I got caught on this day. I got arrested for felony retail theft. However, that is not what I was officially charged with. Now, I had a pretty decent lawyer. My parents helped me out with that because I was originally probably going to end up going
What the
to jail.
hell?
At this point, I had a decent amount of stuff that I had done, you know?
What
And
the
this was
fuck?
a pretty serious thing. I mean, this wasn't
Where the fuck did he
bad.
come from?
I had to
Is there a
file
spawner
emergency.
nearby?
Despite it still being a station adjustment and not having to go to court, that still was on my record. They could still see that, right?
hell?
And that influenced their decision. So they mentioned that when I was reading these papers I got
Oh.
from my freedom of information request. They had
Useless.
mentioned those
Don't want
prior,
it.
You know, as their decision to charge me with a felony of retail theft.
You
They were
motherfuckers.
originally just sent me straight to juvie from my holding cell, but they ended up calling my parents, and I guess my mom convinced them to let me go stay on house arrest at my grandma's house because my mom's house wasn't even
Fuck outta here.
so I couldn't stay there. Later that night, I ended up sneaking out of her window and going to the grocery store to steal some liquor. I think I have a video of that incident too, actually. I couldn't tell you the name of it. That happened years ago, man. I was young. But I got arrested for felony retail theft. In court, ended up negotiating down the turn into a misdemeanor retail theft, but only if I completed my probation, which I did. So upon completion of
Where's the
probation,
spawner?
it was reduced to a misdemeanor, like that's how it appeared on my record, right? And then after that, we got it expunged. So everything was chill, you know, all good there. But
Found it.
Smooth
Wait, no.
Back in the
Found
day,
it.
I couldn't smoke on probation, and I was kind of tripping. I was really worried about getting screwed over, and I just went to rehab. It was a pretty interesting time in my life. And after that, I didn't really get in very much trouble for a little while. See, I had stopped stealing. I had kind of gotten a little smarter about doing things as I was getting older. I was no longer the 16-year-old kid who had just started smoking, but I had been around a couple years at this point. You know, I'd been doing this stuff for a little while, gotten a little less stupid with it. Not saying
Fuck
that
this,
I
I'm
wasn't
waiting.
idiot and made plenty of mistakes, but, you know, I stayed out of trouble for a couple of years after this incident. That is, until the next one we're going to talk about. Now, the fifth one that we're going to talk about today, and this is the final one, until our honorary mention, but the final official one, is my DUI, that many of you guys probably know about. Now, this is the offense, this is the part of my criminal record that probably impacted my life the most, right?
Oh yeah.
It completely flipped my shit upside down. I got kicked out of my parents' house, I was on my ass, completely changed everything. It changed my mindset, too. I feel like, in a way, it kind of helped me become more mature. You know, I would never drunk drive anymore. I realized that the $10 Uber is much more worth than the $10,000 DUI, you know? I mean, it's not worth it. But on this fateful night, I had drank pretty much an entire bottle of Sprite. And I genuinely believed that if I drove to Wendy's fast enough before the liquor hit, I could get back and still not be that drunk. Because I shoved the last half of the bottle. I was like, fuck it, man.
Nice spawner.
So I got in my car,
That skeleton walked all the way from this cave up to my base.
back from Wendy's.
Hilarious.
I gotta eat that goddamn food, man. Listen, I fucked the car up. Luckily, I didn't hurt anybody, right? Including myself. I ended up hitting a tree. So I ran into my garage at my house. I went back to my house, tried to enter my garage code, and I couldn't figure it out. So I left, and I didn't remember doing that. The only reason I know I did that is because my mom told me she had it on the ring cam. She showed me the video. It was kind of fucked up. But either way, I left my house after that. I don't know why I didn't use the car. Probably the worst mistake I've ever made in my life, right? I should have just fucking, I shouldn't have driven to begin with, but at that point, I should have just left the goddamn car, man. I think about it so often. For some reason, I decided to leave. I don't even know where the hell I was going, man. I left and I was crashing the tree, down the street, bro. You know? It was bad, man. It was bad. So I got officially charged with DUI. I also had driving without insurance, and there was some other minor issue with it. Or no, not driving without proof of insurance. Yeah, there was some other minor, but I actually had insurance. I just had to show it before it, and that got dropped. The DUI, I ended up, having unsupervised probation, dealing with that. I hate all those different communities.
Please go away.
I actually just recently finished dealing with the DUI. Listen, one thing I learned from that, I can tell you, don't
Dude, what the fuck? Go away.
I have a lot of friends that still do it. Dude. I mean, don't pass, Everyone knows someone that will do it.
Piss off. Good
Even if you're,
God,
drunk
dude.
enough to, kill somebody and crash your car, you could still be drunk enough to run off that $10,000 DUI tab by getting pulled over.
Why were there two spiders? A skeleton and a zombie with a sword.
But now, let's get to the honorary mention. This is one that I mentioned because this got dropped in court, so I didn't feel it was fair to put in the video because it's not on my computer. But
Waste of
right
time.
after my DUI, I got pulled over driving on a car that wasn't registered.
Cancer,
But I
bro.
just hadn't registered it because I had no insurance and my license was suspended. So I got pulled over, and somehow my wizard of an attorney managed to get that in court. I pled not guilty. We were going to take it to trial, and I guess the prosecutor just kind of got pissed off because he had a plea deal, right? The prosecutor and my attorney and I had reached an agreement. I signed the paperwork. It got to the judge, and the judge was like, well, this guy has a record. He's been on community court supervision, numerous times. Why should I give it to him again? And he threw out the plea.
Jesus.
The prosecutor just dismissed the case when he pled not guilty. I was like, okay, the plead's not guilty, and I guess the prosecutor was just like, fuck it.
Why are there so many fucking skeletons, dude?
That one was very, very fortunate. If I didn't get dismissed, I would still be guilty.
Fuck
The last
off.
time that any of these things happened was 2009. My DUI and my driving on a suspended incident both happened in 2009. That was 4 years ago. But COVID happened almost immediately after, so it delayed the court process of all of this until very recently. I didn't finish up the course for that insurance, driving without insurance and driving without a license thing until August of 2022. That was 3 years later, ladies and gents. Listen, I've been a good little boy for the past, like, 40 years, okay?
Where are all the emeralds? Like, bruh.
Okay? But, hey, listen, we have fun, all right? Don't get me wrong. We get drunk. We don't win. You know, we let the Uber win. You know, we let the dude win. Is it a DUI if you ride a bicycle drunk, by the way?
No.
I don't know. I would do that. Yeah, unless it's a DUI, then I wouldn't do that. Yeah, if any cops were listening, if that's illegal, I totally wouldn't do that. But either way, here's my criminal record, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop a like if you did. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, you know, there's quite a few things.
Is there really nothing interesting down here?
You know, but this is all the things that I've officially been convicted of. That if you ran a background check or, you know, did any of that on me, you would find this information. So I figured I wanted to just throw the stuff I've been convicted of into the video. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have ever had any similar experiences to my charges, let me know in the comments, you little hooligans. I know we got some big stuff in this viewership. Come on. Dude,
Am I even still in the mountain biome? I mean, I should be. I hate to use the pearl, but I don't have a choice. Where the fuck are the goddamn emeralds, dude? Finally, some sludge. Do I really not have enough space, dude? Middle strata emerald.
Let's dive into it. So in today's video, we're talking about the legend of Crack Crit. Now, some of you guys who have been watching my channel for a while might be familiar with what this is. The majority of you, however, probably have no clue who Crackhead Chris is. So
Who the fuck is Crackhead Chris?
Crackhead Chris
Emeralds, oh my god. Look at that, we've already got 2.
He earned the name Crackhead Chris not just by acting like a tweaker, but because this guy
He was a tweaker.
drugs he could find, and he would then drive on them. This guy had no regard for his safety whatsoever, and there was no stopping him.
Thank you, bottle.
One time he came over to my weed guy's house, fucked up off the opiate, and pulled a hatchet on him. This guy was
What the fuck?
unpredictable. I have many incidents, stories with this guy of just being around him and getting into some fuck shit. He wasn't really someone that I was ever directly friends with. In fact, I don't even know if I ever had him on my contact list for more than a couple days because this man could not keep a phone or a phone number. Crackhead Chris was a majestic person in my life. He was almost like a rare spawn. He was like a shiny Pokemon. This guy would appear and he was so different from everyone else in my social circle. No one really knew much about him, what his plan was, why he was the way he was. We just knew that he was absolutely insane. And today, we're talking about a specific incident with him. We're talking about a day that really cemented his status as Crackhead Chris.
This guy is fucking top tier, bro. Goblin.
But I didn't really get it until this day. Now, this took place sometime in early 2016. I don't really remember the exact date for this one, probably partially because I was also as fucked up as Crack. Actually, no, that's probably pushing it. Maybe not as intoxicated. But we were getting. But either way, on this fateful day,
Is it really fucking thunderstorming, dude? Like, really?
I had some plans to go over to my friend Cody's house, and I was to grab some weed
Just strip mining for emeralds alone is a pain in the ass. It's just not worth it.
in my car, and I drive on it.
So much safer down at Deep Strata, I don't care what anyone says.
Brother tells me that he's got some
I've got a shitload of night vision potions. I think I'll be fine.
always down to pop bars. At this point in my life, I was an extra down. I was mopping up pretty much any drug I could get my hands on.
What the
I
fuck?
bought a little bit of weed, and I bought some bands as well. Now, I'm still
Oh, that's totally not a monster. I totally.
and I popped one bar. There was a little white lab.
Full diamond, baby.
I don't think they were stripped, if I'm being honest. I mean, no one is selling stripped bands
What a
outside of
fucking loser, dude.
If it's really stripped, you're gonna keep it in a bottle and tax it. So these were definitely not stripped, but there were some decent presses. I remember these things hit, and they definitely tasted right. I've had much worse presses than these. So I popped
Here, you come here, bud.
I had no idea he was coming. I knew he was
Hilarious.
The reason I knew he was coming is because he drove this absolutely flashed out Hoopty Golf GTI, and it was the loudest vehicle in the town. I don't know what this guy was.
Thank you. You little turd.
Typed it with a saw at Electronics. That kind of seems like a crackhead trick thing to do. But this guy's car was so unfathomably loud. Like, it did not sound good in any way. I have no positive comments.
Jesus. Why are there so many mobs?
But we heard him coming from blocks away, so we knew immediately, like, oh,
You
they're
motherfucker.
it was normal. You always knew
Okay, where? Where are they coming from, dude? Why is everything a skeleton? Why? Do I have to light this whole fucking cave up?
deal with crackhead Chris off whatever drug he was gonna show up on. But on this day, he decided to leave the garage open.
Oh my god, stop.
Hanging out with crackhead Chris sounded a lot more appealing. This guy pulled up and it's flashed out.
Here, bud. Blow up now.
Not just the sound, but he's got stickers all over it. It is rusted out from the bottom up. I mean,
Jesus.
I'm surprised that the frame was even still held together at this point. There was like rust holes.
All this for 2 fucking emeralds, dude.
No, there were like holes in the whip from the rust. It was fucked, dude. I don't know if it was at the bottom of Lake Michigan or where he bought it from, but it was not somewhere that he should have bought it from. So then Chris pulls up and he hops out the car and he comes in and says hello to us. It was always the funniest thing because there was this
Piss off, you little turd.
enough tension to make us pick him out.
Dude, I'm already starving. Like, dude.
Get on Cody's brother, but at the same time, like,
Deep Strata is so much better than this garbage.
so he pulled up and he came in, and this man was fucked up. He parked his shit all sorts of crooked. He comes in, he falls over, and he's walking up the driveway to the garage. And he gets in the garage and just flops himself down on the couch and melts all that shit. So we're talking to him, you know, we're asking, like, what's good, you know, what do you need? Because obviously, this guy was showing up to buy something, right? He wasn't just showing up to pick it. He was constantly on a mission to obtain more pharmaceuticals. So as soon as he arrived, we all kind of knew immediately that he was probably going to buy some Xanax. And that's exactly what he did. Now, as he's waiting to get his thing from Cody's brother, he mentions to me, yeah, bro, I popped a couple hydro.
Come on. Come on, little boy.
Good. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, like, dude, it's 4 p.m. Like, what do you need of it? You know, so I asked him, I'm like, what do you need?
Fuck off.
4 o'clock. Oh, yeah, dude, well, I only woke up like an hour ago, man. I'm sitting there and I'm like, yeah, I guess I didn't crack that Chris morning. 6 p.m. Anything before that, he's probably still up from the night prior.
You know what, you guys go ahead and do that. Fucking sausage festum. Okay, where's the exit? I'm done with this cave. I'm out. I've had it. Dude, are you shitting me? Another fucking skeleton, dude. And a creeper. My luck just keeps getting worse. Please go away. Emeralds, oh my god. It was worth... Dude. Please go away. The journey was worth it. 2 emeralds. Life is good. Sweet nectar.
I'm talking about semen. I'm talking about sweet tea, brother. So I'm instantly down to go to McDonald's. And Crackhead Chris is kind enough to offer to try. Now, I should have definitely avoided this offer. But you
Please go away.
I was also barred out. So I thought no issue with him driving. I'm like, well, yeah, dude. I mean, he drove to it, but it's fine.
I have found so many emeralds already, and it's barely been even 5 minutes. The only problem is that...
Around town like he was in a demolition derby every single day. I mean, there was not one
The only issue is that it's pretty limited. The caves around here aren't always the best.
go on like marketplace and you see people selling their cars and they only post side, like they only post pictures of the good angle. This guy had no good angle. But I'm down to go to McDonald's. So we get up and we hop in his car.
Thank you.
He hops in the driver's seat and off we go. He starts up his car and it is
What the fuck? Stand still, you little bastard.
You got barred out idiots. You've got me off the Zan and crackhead Chris driving the car off the Zans and the Hydro, and we are in a blacked out Golf GTI that's falling apart with a
Thank you, Bottle.
very loud straight pipe or whatever.
Okay, we're getting the fuck out of here. This cave is fucking ass.
Describe crackhead Chris a little bit. Essentially, he looks like Martin Shkreli if Martin Shkreli consumed the pharmaceuticals instead of peddling them. We're driving down the street, and I didn't notice anything wrong with his driving skills. But also, that was not necessarily what I was focused on. I had brought it once with me.
I'm gonna get to level 60 so quickly doing this. Oh, thank God. It's an easy escape. Why is there sand here?
Crackhead Chris and I had gotten into a bit of a dispute. A while later, Cody and I ended up messing him out of some weed. He was on some fuck shit. It was a whole ordeal where, like, our I guess you could say friendship, but I wouldn't really say I was very good friends.
Should land next to the tree, right? Ow.
Kind of fell apart. You know, it was like a mutual reason, like, oh, he's got a problem with my friends, you know, I got a problem with him because I'm not really his friend, you know? Big complicated thing. But this took place before that. We got two barred out
We'll go that way next time. Or actually, we'll just go into the very center.
neighborhood. He's looking just fine. We get up to the McDonald's, and all is well so far.
This is only a temporary house, by the way.
Chill McDonald's. Now, once we go through the drive-thru, we place our order, and we get up to the first window, and this is where things get. After the first window, I guess crackhead Chris wasn't paying attention, or maybe he was too fucked up, or maybe he looked ahead and was just straight up hallucinating off all the drugs he was on, and saw it as a target instead of a different vehicle. But this man hit the accelerator and just slammed right into the car in front of him. And it wasn't very light either. It wasn't that would come close.
If I get shot at, I'm actually gonna cry.
I mean, we're in a drive-thru window apart, but he punched that accelerator kind of hard, and it was definitely a jolt, you know? I mean, I felt the impact, not a little bump. It was like, damn, dude, you kind of fucked that shit up, you know? So I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my god, man. But at the same time, I'm also not because I'm not in my car. So how much trouble can I? You know, the weed, whatever drugs he has on him, like that's fine and dandy. I didn't bring music with me. I left that shit at Cody's. So whatever he's got, that's on him, brother. And if he tries to pin it on me, I'm going gunner mode in that fucking interrogation, brother. All right, I am YSL R again. But he rear-ends this guy's car, and he doesn't even react. I mean, this guy's sitting there, like he's just still waiting in line. You know, like nothing happened. The guy in the car in front of us gets
Why is there a creeper out there, dude? Fuck.
Hey, bro. He like throws his hands up, and at that point, I think when Chris realized what he just did, he was like, "Oh shit!" It was the funniest thing ever. This guy slams into it, not super hard, but definitely hard enough to notice. And it took until after the guy gets out of the car mad about it, Chris would be like, "Oh shit, did I hit him?"
Please go away.
400K, my man. I shouldn't have gotten in this way. So we're sitting in line at the
Yeah, there's the dumb fucking creeper.
and Chris kinda
Oh my god, where?
he's like, yeah, like, just park up over there. You know, tells him to like go wait for him, right? So we get up to the next window. The guy gets away from the window and he goes and parks in a parking spot dead ahead of the exit of the highway. So I'm talking to Chris and I'm like, yo, like, what the fuck?
What in the fuck?
And Chris,
What the fuck is that? Why?
he just gotta go, man. Like, he just gotta hit. And I'm like, alright, dude, fuck. I'm someone who committed a few hit and runs myself. Listen, when you're a minor, you get scared, you know? When you're
Where's the other one? There was a second one. Where is he?
that shit's scary.
What are you fucking doing? Get the fuck away from me, please. Holy shit, dude. Why were there 3 creepers next to my house? What the fuck? Dude.
If they stay at the scene and it's a legitimate accident, they're fine. I mean, besides their insurance and their car and the guy they hit, but you know, legally, they're fine. So after a quick little discussion about what our plan is, we get our goods. I get my little McChicken, right? I get my little snack. And now it's time to figure out our plan of action. Apparently, crackhead Chris had already figured it out before we even got the food. Because the moment he got the food, this guy just punches it. Get the fuck out of there. Directly ahead of the entrance of this, or the exit of this drive-thru parking, there's this little outlet that leads to the street. It's like a gap in between the parking spaces that leads back out to the street.
Nice.
The dude that we rear-ended is parked a bit to the left of this gap. Crackhead Chris two-way turn. You have to turn right. I mean, technically you turn left, but it's kind of tough because you can't really see coming, and you're also not supposed to. So we turn
What
right
the
coming out
fuck?
of here, and how are we gonna get a fucking red light with a car in front of us? The dude
Dude, why? Go away. Why are there 3 skeletons, dude? Thank you, bottle.
sitting in shotgun, I'm just having the time of my life. You know, I'm barred out. I'm not even slightly concerned about this. I'm like, you know what? I'm along for the ride, brother. Let's fucking go for it. This is out of its mind off multiple pharmaceuticals driving me around.
I need 34 blocks in order for me to be able to make the double layered beacon and get the rest of my food.
He's in an SUV. I don't really know what kind of SUV it was. I don't remember exactly. But I remember it was a black SUV. It was pretty big. But I mean, it might have been like a Toyota, you know, like one of those bigger Toyota ones. But I remember it was a big black family size. So there was
I'm gonna have to dig down. I don't have a choice.
I mean, I don't remember seeing much of any. But I could to the crunch of Crackhead Chris's car, and I knew there was something hid. But we did not have a chance to even check yet. So this car gets behind us, and he starts honking at us. This guy is blaring his fucking horn. So Crackhead Chris, now he's got this tiny little guy, and he's able to take these super fucking tight turns. That's the one thing I'm jealous of about those little hatchbacks like that. You can take the tightest fucking turns and be totally fine. So this guy switches to you immediately. Turns around going the other way, right? It's a one-lane two-way. Lifts around.
How fucking far down is it to middle strata, dude?
The truck is not capable of doing this falling
I feel like Mountain should have 5 stratas.
we look and the truck's trying to get out, like looking behind us, and the truck's trying to do it, but we had to like stop and like back up and then do it, because otherwise that guy would have killed a sign or something, you know?
What the hell?
He makes a practically stop sign after he turned around and just fucking guns.
Is there a fucking spawner here too?
Now
Like,
we're
dude.
going for it. However, the truck is now turned behind us and is on our ass. So Crackhead Chris is warned. I don't think he has a plan of where he's going, and I tell him because now we're going back in the direction of Cody's house, and I tell him I'm like, bro, do not bring this shit back to Cody's house. Like he's gonna kill us. Do not bring this shit back to Cody's house. We must go somewhere else. He's like, yeah, I know, bro, I know. Like, shut up, you know? He's kind of being a dick. At the same time, he was very stressed out, so I didn't blame him. You know, you do you. Get us out of this situation, brother. So he fucking guns it. He goes straight. And we end up at this stop sign. You can either turn right or turn left. But he does neither.
He goes straight.
Across this church parking lot. Now this church parking lot is big. It wraps all the way around this church. Every side of it is just asphalt, just parking lot. So he punches it in his fucking parking lot, goes straight through the stop sign, stops for like a millisecond, never can go full stop, goes straight to this parking lot of this church. Now I'm sitting there and I'm like, where the fuck are you going, bro? Like, what are we doing? You know, what is the plan here? As we get into the parking lot of the church, we get behind the church, and this guy just stops his fucking car as if the dude just forgot where we were. Like we're playing Assassin's Creed or some shit. I'm sitting there and I'm like, bro, you gotta keep going. Stop back there for maybe 2 seconds. This man took a little hydro pit stop, dude. This guy actually pulled over in the middle of a hit and run chase, pops another hydro, and we're back at it. Now, this SUV pulled around the back.
So it would be this way, right? Yes.
Another hydro down. And instead of driving back out of the parking lot, this man does probably the stupidest, most barred out thing he could have possibly done. He decides to just gun it across the field. You see, the way the house was laid out is this church was surrounded by a giant ass field. There was houses near it, but they were pretty far away. I mean, there was a large amount of space to drive. Now, there was no curb around the parking lot like your normal parking lot. So there was kind of a little bit of a ditch that led to the grass. So if you went
Hey,
off
hold
the
up.
asphalt, you would go down a little bit and then be on fairly even level grass. So this guy just fucking goes for it, dude. He guns it off the fucking edge of the parking lot. I swear to God, I think he got a very small amount of airtime going off the ledge. This guy lands in the grass and just fucking guns it. Now, I don't want you picturing some crazy Dukes of Hazzard shit, thinking we got like a real stunt jump shit. But I mean, the wheels didn't leave the ground for probably like 2 milliseconds going off this tiny little ledge. So, hey, we got some airtime, baby. So this guy is just fucking gunning it across the field. Lord,
So that right there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So right here then. Oh, look at that. I found it immediately. The journey was worth it. Should I get the mushrooms? Yeah, I might get the mushrooms. Oh, I need to label this. Hold up. Ooh. It was worth it, baby. Is there anything else? Ah. Can't blame me for trying, right? Hey, maybe I'll find some diamonds down here, am I right? To be fair, this is literally one fucking cave. This doesn't even go anywhere, for God's sake, like, bro. Ooh, another cave, huh? Emerald, oh my god, I see emerald. Yes! This is so much better than trading, dude. This is way more fulfilling. I get 3 emeralds per fucking break on average. It's fucking awesome. How did he not see me just now? Fucking loser, dude. A ravine? Really? What the fuck? Where? You know what? You're right, bud. You do you, boo. Give me those bat wings. I'm also down here for bat wings, too. You can only get 2 per fucking bat, unfortunately. Thank you, bottle. I'll keep the bottles until I can toss them out. There you go. Yeah, you're probably dead, bud. Sorry. Jesus, how big is this goofy ravine, dude?
Period of Gen 2 completely dominated by Wishport Cable. It was not impossible to stop it. Only ceased once the more well-known teleporters showed up, the Slow Twin. Well known as putting it mildly, they completely defined Gen 8 OU for how unstoppable they were at Blue. Assisted by the hazard immunity of heavy duty boots and their regenerator ability, had an even easier time than Magic Guard Fable and stay healthy, especially with the one-turn heal of Slack off when necessary. While they don't pass out to their teammates, they get them in with such absurdity that it almost didn't matter, especially because they weren't just taking hits to engage their teammates, but they were also setting up ferocious offense with fight, which paired beautifully with teleporting their hard teammates. There were genuinely talks of future sight being too strong for
There's nothing here. Nice, it's an X.
you also see asked that question from here, as you were probably at it yourself. Now, as far as the Sultans were concerned, Teleport hardly needed a negative priority, since they are already outrun by everything and their mother anyway. So yes, it was nice to get the slow switch off against paralyzed Pokemon as well. However, the slow switch began using the speed lowering nature and zero speed IV, so they could be as slow as possible. But when they were both doing that, it resulted in speed tie anyway. One of the most ridiculous ones imaginable, where both players with their slowed out Pokemon hope to lose the tie so they can move second. A small handful of players can use level 99 slow just to ensure they move second. Now that was ridiculous. Though to our knowledge, there was never a major tournament game where two level 90 slows face off speed tie. Generation 9 has continued the tradition with chilly reception, but Teleport kicked off a new era and launched an already excellent use of Mega Stardom. In Generation 4, Gastrodon, while certainly capable of a niche opponent, was instead seen as a sub-Swampert and a sub-Quagsire wall, hence it landing all the way down. Swampert was the OU standard for Stealth Rock Core and potential for Pop, while Quagsire had a serious feature as well for its access to recover and water absorb, giving it a water unit so useful, it was even used to great success in Hoover, where it took on none other than Kyogre. Gastrodon was stuck with Sticky Hold, making it immune to the item removal of Trick and Knockoff. Not a bad niche by any means, but it failed in comparison to its competition. Oh sure, it had Storm Drain, but the ability had no use in single back. It only worked in double, drawing in all water moves much like Lightning Rod did Fletcher. And seeing as Gastrodon was neutral to these water moves, it wasn't exactly the wisest strategy doubles either. Generation 5 though, Storm Drain was buffed to provide a complete water immunity. This was enormous in the same generation as Drizzle making OU. Gastrodon skyrocketed to become a top tier fixture of standard play for its ability to devour even the strongest Hydro Ball. With its superior
It's always water, I swear to God.
Quagsire, or at least what Quagsire had been previously, as Gen 5 had also given Quagsire new purpose and square, which was itself a boost so huge and almost ridiculous. Regardless, it was Gastrodon now Kyogre stopped using as well, while becoming OU proper, learning its typing
Why?
as well as being a ground type with water immunity. As a bonus,
Really?
hit by a water
It's just a giant fucking cave.
and hit deceptively hard.
Piss off.
Was even somewhat common for top players to use choice specs, especially like for Gastrodon, which were incredibly difficult to answer. Give it that special attack boost, and watch as your Ferrothorn gets rocked by Earth Power, or even just surf into rain.
Any emeralds down here? I see emeralds.
The generation follow. It was also Quagsire-esque in how it defined the Tearing Rug. It was actually
How much do we have? 8? That's pretty good, actually. That's not bad.
had an important defensive presence in OU. It wasn't even like it was particularly rare or a good player's secret or anything. It was quite common and important games. There was even a team tournament final in Gen 7 where both OU matches, both players used Gastrodon despite its status at the time. Seeing poor Gastrodon at the highest stage at the most must-win time is a testament to how important it was, and that was largely because of how important a water immunity always is. At that particular time, it was prized for its ability to completely stop accident. Storm Drain Gastrodon also has excellent utility in DP. Of course, now that it's into water, you can reap the full benefit of redirecting all those water moves at it. This is largely largely a singles-focused video, but we had to mention this monstrosity and the reason Wolf Blitz is terror. While we wish him peace, we also wish to counter practically everything with one Pokemon. That doesn't really stress the truth of the Incineroar effect too much, for how outrageously ubiquitous it is. It makes the catch all of its predecessor Lander experience look like a decent hit. Incineroar was an okay Pokemon when it had just its Blaze ability, as all other fire starters do. It's got good stats, the typing, both defensively and offensively. Good move pool, but with Intimidate, its switch in potential skyrocket, really making the most of its already good ball, and not just for defensive purposes either.
More emeralds, oh my god.
Easier to get offensive use out of it too, like when it unleashes its signature Insinuous Z in Generation 7. Most of the time though, Incineroar is
Thank you, Bottle. Much appreciated. How did I miss that?
Which would already be enormous, but it just keeps going. Stab, knockoff, and snarl, will-o-wisp, taunt, U-turn, roar, and in Gen 8 it received parting shot, just to reinforce the idea that nothing was going to break it, or its teammates for that matter. Especially since parties got switching out, and got to switch back in and intimidate again, rinse and repeat. Alternatively, you can go with Assault Vest to make sure you're taking on both
I hear stuff.
right off the bat, also providing an ocean of utility, take out knockoff and U-turn.
Is it down? Even better. Ooh. What is this?
It also has a generally ridiculous list of strong moves it can withstand, like Mean Xiao's close combat, and with Assault Vest, thanks to Rhydon Electrica. Seeing as BDC games go quick, being able to defend against the highest currency of such battles, moves that have a habit of one-hit KOing targets, makes an Incineroar user immeasurably quick, though the effect is somewhat balanced by the fact that almost everyone is Incineroar user. Of course, that means winners tend to be Incineroar users. Economic parallels aside, Incineroar has become the BGC Pokemon for generations now. Team is so impressive, it wormed its way in here, so less otherwise completely devoted to singles.
Is it above me?
Cloyster was a good Pokemon in the first 4 generations. It was great in Gen 1, outright elite in Gen 2, pretty decent in Gen 3, had a small niche in Gen 4, though it was mostly relegated to UU, but it was quite good. It also had a small niche in Uber. However, Cloyster always succeeded in spite of the flaws forced upon it by
What in the fuck?
Cloyster would be a monstrously difficult Pokemon.
Please go away.
Especially once Stealth Rock joined the fray. Those were made for a very reliable support Pokemon. Then came Gen 5, and Cloyster dispensed with support and favored one of the most shattering offenses by virtue of being Shell Smash, which doubles both of your attack stats, doubles
Oh.
and Cloyster got the mega powerful Ice Staff that was Skill Link Icicle Spear, which made it a metagame destroyer, and many times at that. At first it was used as a speed, with Icicle Spear's 5 hits paired with King Rock to provide a high rating glitch move, like a Jirachi that 2-hit KO'd almost everything, because it was incredibly strong, had arguably the most spammable stat type in the game. It sliced through Magikarp Alex's and focus stats thanks to its multi-hit nature, and even if you had it checked,
Didn't they ban King's Rock because of that shit?
which the 5 hits also tended to produce a lot of. Even though it was just an individual hit, not all 5, it still pushed it way over the edge, and it was coming from a boosted stat, and it just needed the crit or the swing. It couldn't outspeed it either.
Piss off.
Gladiolus fell to boost it. So you mostly wound up having to pray. This resulted in King Rock being banned, but Cloyster wasn't done. It was discovered that the gems powered up every hit, like Relum's Voice King 4, hitting Cloyster's Ice Spear. Suddenly it didn't need luck. It was probably just dropping you with raw power. Once that first target fell, say goodbye to the rest. Alternatively, you could rely on Rotom Blast and Heatran, which took even Gem Boost and Ice Spear. But then Cloyster busted out the Rock Gem Boost and Rock Blast. Those dropped like, Cloyster was alongside its common teammate Volcarona, one of the most broken
This is also why Gems got banned from Gen 5 was because of Cloyster's fucking shit.
as a whole, but it still wasn't done. It began running mixed sets with Pin Power Grass and Hydro Pump. After all, Shell Smash doubled its special attack as well, with HP Grass, Say Goodbye, LD on Slowbro, while Hydro Pump ensured it was dropping Magnezone Fever too. Countering Cloyster wound up just being ridiculous. You couldn't do it through bulk or outspeeding it, or even resist, because in addition to outrunning everything, it was also throttling everything through variety on top of the sheer power that already tended to get the job done on its own. Cloyster was
Jesus, there's so much fucking water, dude. Why? Oh my god. Fuck off. What a fucking idiot.
Despite their great stats typing, the Slow Twins' defensive potential was always marred by them being, well, slow. No tanky, they were far from immortal, meaning they couldn't shrug off hits forever. Received instant recovery on flat top.
Nice try, bud. I could hear you behind me. That's why I jumped the shark before the shark jumped me.
Their bulk would be impressive at first, but would tend to collapse under the sustained pressure of a prolonged assault. Mangrove was similarly flawed. Its HP and defense were tight, but it couldn't consistently keep itself healthy, largely thanks to how easily its non-existent speed was exploited. Then Gen 5 came around, the Dream World gifted this trio the hidden ability of the Generator, and they took off as some of the best hit takers.
What in the fuck is this water, dude? Why were there two? That was a water source block right there, dude. Okay.
Since they knew when they slipped out, they gained enough health to switch into again. Indeed, it made breaking through the quite a challenge. Starting in Gen 5, the power creep was so enormous, each traditional defensive would get overwhelmed by the barrage of threats quickly. But these Pokemon were crucial in providing stability and tangible useful. Consistent bulks of metagame where the thought of playing defensively wasn't quickly becoming reliable. Then in Black and White 2, the power creep had the of one. The Mugus going to break, having just gained the previous and just a slow growing Mangrove had held off monsters like Excadrill, Margap, and Stratia. Now Mugus helped enormously against Keldeo.
There is actually a chance that mobs can see through opaque blocks. The mobs can sometimes see it. Sometimes. It's very rare.
Especially both these Slowbro style talents gained an immense energy there. Regenerator pairings would become quite common as well. Usually Slowbro and Amugus, but Slowking and Tangrowth also saw some success. Having one Pokemon that reinforces longevity was excellent enough given how much it was covering, but having two, especially when these Pokemon often switched in on each other's responses, it made for some of the most consistent defense available. Gen 5 was the starting point for all these Pokemon, and it should be mentioned that they were tremendous in that sense lower tier as well. But Regenerator imbued them with such life, continued to become essential pieces of standard different generations. Slowbro, Tangrowth, and Amoonguss were all bona fide lead Gen 6. This also meant Regenerator pairings with they continued to thrive in Gen 7 OU as well, with Tangrowth remaining fully fledged OU once again, and the others two continuing to have important pieces. Even the arrival of Toxapex couldn't fully replace Slowbro and countering ability. When Gen 8 arrived, Tangrowth was no longer fully OU, but it was still a great Pokemon. Even saw use in Uber. Talk about a buff. Of course, Gen 8 is where the Slow Twins really took off, but we won't repeat the teleport system, so it can't be overstated how the Slow Twins were among the best, most important, and dominant Pokemon around. Even their cousins
Thank you, Bottle.
reaped the benefits of them having received Regenerator. They didn't teleport.
Piss off.
Pokemon is right. Continued to thrive even in Gen 9 OU, where attached to teleport was frequent in reception. Regenerator is an incredible ability on just about everything. As seen in how it took these
Where is all the emeralds? Is this just not a... Oh, there's some emeralds. Never mind, I stand corrected. I mean, I know it's gonna be terrible. There's no way to guarantee good rates. You fucking nasty ass.
upon seeing Groudon and Kyogre, we wondered, gee, wouldn't it be neat to have those approaches?
Ooh, what's this? Jesus, dude. There's diamonds down there. What the fuck? Ooh. Oh, it's cold in these streets. It's ice fucking cold.
That's the OU weapon.
That is a beautiful sight down there.
Anyway, so Game Freak started blasting
Dude, this fucking ravine is insane.
by monsters you previously sometimes see alongside Joker. Turns out, didn't much matter that the center was otherwise a large
Oh god, he saw me.
The effect was so powerful, it took not just ban, but unprecedented changing of the rules from a range from glitching to sight. You could have put Drizzle on the barrel, and it would have facilitated some of the most
Oh, there are more emeralds down here. Nice.
a lot of players were happier to face Tox's attack than they were expecting
Why did I just do that?
Most notable the Stealth Rock League, which threatened its longevity, thus its ability to win the weather war and define the meta. Additionally, the Sunny Speed Booster, Grass Type Horrible Pokemon, didn't have to snap into the sun the way water rain.
There's so much water down here, dude. It's not even fucking funny. Jesus.
However, in spite of Tails being easier to exploit the fairly sturdy code, this didn't stop it from actually being deceptively effective.
But why? Why does there have to be so much fucking water? I just don't understand. What is the point? 7 deep, huh? It's pretty deep. Oh my god, why did my mouse just fucking jerk, dude? Piss off. It's really the only way I'm gonna be able to get over here. If I try to jump, he's just gonna shoot me backwards into the lava if I'm not careful. Nice! Look at that! Some diamonds. I will gladly take those. Oh wow, I only found 2. What the hell? Okay, well, looks like I didn't just find 2. I stand corrected. I take back what I said. This is why I hate water. It's so annoying, dude. What the hell? More diamonds, huh? Any others? Is it just the one? Damn it. I mean, hey, diamonds are still diamonds, no matter what. How did he miss that shot? Fuck off, dude. We'll probably have to go to a different mountain biome once I'm done here for this round. Piss off, you little shits. Yes! This is so much better than trading. Holy hell, this is beautiful. I love this. Ew. No fucking way, dude. We're finding the good stuff today. Yeah, look at that. I'm really good at finding emeralds for the most part. I know where to look. That's like the main thing.
difficult to imagine being completely unstoppable as it wound up being prepared its first match Uber. There were for its ability to ignore hazards, especially in the Gen 9 match, where it is painfully easy to stack hazards and equally difficult to get rid of them. Forget having to get with just rocks. You can start at below 50% in both games thanks to rocks and at least one layer of spike. Gen 8 Volcarona was a whole new beast and allowed for Gen 9 to fly as ferociously as it did. In Gen 2, famously the stall generation, major reason why stall things are so unbreakable was Storm. Anyone familiar with the system will be surprised to learn that Storm did Storm things right with that tremendous defense and timing. However, Storm is also famous for using that fearless defensive profile to stack multiple layers of spikes. Gen 2 didn't do this, not because there was only one layer of spikes back then.
Thank you, bottle. Diamonds. Oh, this is fucking redstone. Oops. I thought it was diamonds, dude. Oh, for God's sake. Glass obsidian is so annoying. Oh, wait a sec. I know where this is. This is that one spot. This is where those diamonds were. How many diamonds do I have? I have 11. Please go away. Emeralds, let's go. Isn't this where the ravine is? Yeah, it's just a cave that connects to it. Oh my god, go. Oh, dude. Are you fucking kidding me? You just for that? Silverfish are so fucking annoying, dude. I'll be taking that Batwing. Maybe also give me a feather falling scroll while you're at it. Yes! Ew. Yep, that was some diamonds, alright. Emeralds. It was worth it.
There were many reputable players that wanted to advance OU as well. Even better, Magic Guard even introduced Blue Birds of all teams. Oh, and it continued. More recent times, Clefable has even infiltrated Gen 5 OU, putting a legitimate force there in the midst of the power grid. Of course, then why it came around, turned Clefable into a very
What the hell?
household name and has been ever since. This play boosted its base special attack, sure. However, the blessing of actual resist, even viable stab, was just incredible. Previously, Clefable's only immunity had been shadow. Nice to be sure, but by and large,
Oh. Yeah, this is a good place to leave off. I'm gonna go ahead and go to bed. IRL. I'll see y'all tomorrow. We're doing very good. 18 bits of iron, or emerald, excuse me. Alright, I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.
may seem like an unusual